Bodhisattva is nothing, it is reaching to Buddha.
Yes.
Bodhisattva is a person with good qualities for me. He is just reached that stage.
Yes.
After that, he was to declare. But they have not declared.
वो लाइट लगता है
Due to divinity, he left.
हेलो ये लाइट लगता है
Uh,
देखो तो
नहीं है ना, नहीं है बनती जी। हाँ ये तो ये वाला नहीं।
I don't know how much you know about America. You know, in America, you know, we are suffering, black people in America are suffering pretty much exactly the same situation. You can even say suffering at the hands of the same people. Yes, here you've been suffering for thousands of years from the very first Aryans.
Yes.
We have been suffering only hundreds of years of
Yes,
the later day Aryans. You see, after coming from Europe, you know, when Baba Sahib says to Gandhiji that Gandhiji, I have no homeland.
yes.
He's saying, I'm born Indian, but I have no homeland. I am not. This is not my homeland. I am not one of. I'm not. I am. You know, we have a man. His name is Malcolm X, and he was a teacher, a great speech maker. And he said the same thing. He told us. He told black people, said, "You are not Americans. Stop walking around thinking you're Americans. Because if you were Americans, you would enjoy full citizenship. You wouldn't be killed by police. You wouldn't have atrocities and so on. So all of these things, that everything that what you've been going through here has been much longer history. And what we've going through is a shorter history. And these people are invaders in your land. Whereas for us, they took us to another land. So it's a different situation. But we were originally taught to be Christians. They taught us, they took away our religion, whatever we believed, whatever our language, and they taught us to be Christians. And it's not until maybe the middle of the 20th century you had some people, what they came with was Islam. And they said, you know, Christianity is not your religion. And as long as you follow Christianity, you will suffer and die with these people.
Diverted there.
Exactly. You need to find your own religion, your original religion, which is Islam. And so they began to teach us Islam. But same way they talk about the Buddha and his Dhamma, they told us that the Islam we practice is not the true Islam. This is some political Islam or some nationalist Islam and so on. But we had many of our teachers who were teaching us Christianity, teaching us to integrate with American society. But our Islamic teachers, they taught us, similar to, as Baba said, separation. That we must separate and stand on our own to become independent. If we
take identity.
Right, exactly. If we integrate,
Yes.
they say integration is disintegration.
Obama says.
Yeah. So they want us. They taught us. So all of these things. My interest in coming, because I see the same teachings, the same suffering, the same situation here, the same teachings coming from a similar man. So as I have an interest, I've been living in Asia for so long, Buddhism, I feel this is the Buddhism that can help us. Sure, the spirit, the meditation and all of these aspects of it, that of course too, that is definitely a part of the Lord Buddha's message. But socially, economically, politically, how can we, and how can we really, this part of the message is also, it's not reaching America. So that's why I come among you and I want to learn as much.
Only the speeches, only the teachings of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar can help there.
Yes.
Because Lord Buddha's teaching has been remolded, molded, or reformed like anything. So originality may not be there. That's why Dr. Ambedkar has filtered his principle through by 22 vows. I guess you follow that vow. What is this important? Only 22 fights are there. And Varna Vyavastha. Varna Vyavastha means this casteism and other things are there. Due to these, we are unable to reach our point and goal. It is saying neither we cover economical points, neither education, because we were almost deprived. We were, Baba Sahib says that American, they are, of course, they are us, but they are better than us. His version is that, though they are also intermediate, they are not Christians, white Christians, they are not accepting them as their community persons. But even then I say they are better. Baba Sahib told that time. Whereas our Indian people, my people, they are not like this. Because you have deprived from work. You have made a man lazy. You have not allowed him to take swords. You have not allowed him to take pain. You have not allowed to earn anything. Even you have not allowed to build this house or live happily. So this type of many corners, many points you can judge from his philosophy. So 22 vows, and he has mentioned properly that Americans are also like us, but even then they are better. He said.
I have the book, what is it, Slavery or Untouchability, which is worse?
They are not bound to be there only. They can come out, but here within the caste, we have to remain like anything. We cannot come out like this. Yes, true. And this is poverty, poverty, uneducationist, or misery is due to this Brahminism. Brahminism means this Brahmin, they have brought their Manu. Manu. So that, and Baba Sahib says, it has come during 400 AD. During that it has been brought, and all kings will be forced to apply it and get work done, because these were Brahmin, they were making king. You are superior. Though we are superior, the whole power you are having. So you torture or whatever method is there, you get work done from there, and they should not go here and there.
How do so many, so few control so many? This is the question. How so few of them, yet they can control so many? I mean, I know how they do it in America. They control us through, mostly through the mind. Right. So, I mean, how are they controlling? I mean, Brahmins are less than 3% of the population.
But they are strong.
They're strong in the...
They are strong here, not bodily.
Yes. So how can I... Why are the 85% of the people is downtrodden? Why are they still?
Baba Sahib says
they're not united at the first place.
No, Baba Sahib says because we were Buddhist.
Yes.
There were in Aryan time there were only 4 varnas: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But we were not counted among these 4. Baba Sahib says we are originally Buddhist. Baba Sahib says we are originally Buddhist, and we were not following, we were not observing their instructions. That's why we have been kept out from the villages. Some people, due to fear, due to something or torture, they have agreed. So they have been taken in their society, Shudras like this. But we have not obeyed their point, order. That's why we have been kept outside. So where he has said, you can read one the book, who were untouchable.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
So that बिल्कुल one gist I am taking, because we were originally Buddhist and strict Hinayana like Theravada. Theravada. So we were not observing God Puja, or we were not telling anything. We were very strict to the point philosophy of the Buddha. So that people, they have been kept in fifth varna, that is called Ati Shudra. Ati Shudra. And they were not allowing, they were just telling, it is your duty. If any animal is dead, you have to remove from outside. If any things are there, dirty things are there, you have to do. They have forced us to do dirty occupations. Like this, Baba Sahib observing. Once again you go with that, you were untouchable.
Yes.
In that you will again review that.
Yes.
Who were Sudras? It is the common of the Indian. So in that he says above 80-85% they were Indian people, original people, and they were native people. Few people they came from here and they dominated India. It is his philosophy.
Yes.
His philosophy.
But in addition to my father's point, what my brothers wanted to say was, though they were 3% only, and the majority was of 85, more than 85%, right? But the problem was that they were not linked, they were not united. Okay, so the best thing to rule the people is to find their point, weaker point, and then rule them. So the problem was that we were not united, okay, and these 3% smart people, they just ruled. And what they were saying, because of let's say this is God's instruction, God says like this. So peoples are like that. See, ancient peoples were like, they wanted to obey God's instruction. And Brahmins, these 3% peoples are saying that we are messengers of God. Okay. So then they are supplying these instructions to the 85% people. And what they are saying, okay, when Manu, that priest came,
Yes, Manu.
and he wrote some scriptures, and he mentioned that, okay, so some Brahmins, some peoples are there, they want to do some pujas and let's say prayers and talking to
Education
God.
matter.
Okay.
Education matter.
So they are called as Brahmins. Who are emperors, who are soldiers, they kept in the category of, let's say, Kshatriyas. The third category is the business people, right? Means buy, sell something, so whatever the transactions are there. So those are in Vaishya, business people category, right? And the rest are Shudras and Ati Shudras. So these words actually that Manu mentioned in his memory, that script. And what these 3% people said, you have to follow this thing if you want to go to heaven or you want to follow God's instruction. So like that, this 85% people which who are weaker, they followed this thing, and ages by ages, since thousands years, like they were suffering. And when Baba Sahib came, okay, and he found Buddhism as good religion, okay, good dhamma. He found he actually delivered 22 oaths for people, and he said that Buddhism, what actually was there in India, spread it across the globe, but that got modified. But this 22 oaths what Baba Sahib gave to our people, this will maintain your life, and this particular set of instructions will take out you from this particular problem.
You will get your dignity.
Exactly.
For your dignity, 22 both are there.
Let's say if you'll ask me what is the difference between Indian, this Buddhism, Ambedkar Buddhism, Thailand Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Burma's Buddhism, Sri Lankan Buddhism. So just I will tell you that these 22 O's are the main difference of this Ambedkarite Buddhism, and which were let's say extracted from Buddha's teaching. And this is the main actually points which actually will maintain your good life in India.
Okay, well, see,
And he says, without Buddhism, world will not be in peace.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes.
If world is to be in peace and development, it is only the world religion is Buddha religion.
Yes, and not only him, also many other people, very intelligent people, also say
Yes.
is the Albert
So many-
Einstein and so on.
Einstein.
Yes, he even said
He was
the
a
future.
he was a very great. He was awarded Nobel Prize. He also says, in world, only first scientist was that is Gautam Buddha, not Gautam Buddha.
Yes.
And
say-
if we know that about Dr. Ambedkar, he was the main, like he was the Indian Constitution architect for Indian Constitution. You know
Yes,
this.
yes, yes, the
So
Constitution.
let's say for Indians, that is the main holy book for all the Indians. Okay.
And he has put all the Buddhist principle in that.
In that particular Indian Constitution.
Yes, yes, yes.
So your very first question, what actually I now I'm answering, that how let's say how Indians came up from that particular situation, right? So the first thing is this Buddhism, and the second thing is your Indian Constitution, which actually
Right.
preserve your life.
Right.
Which preserve your life and which will maintain your good life during your education and everything.
But what I'm finding now, this is what when your father asked me when I came in, you know, how am I finding Nagpur?
Yeah.
I'm finding it. How can I? A surprise,
Yes.
a wonderful surprise, but also a shock. But then it's a mix of, because first I come to Nagpur, Buddhism is so strong here, so strong
So
here.
strong, yes.
And you know, I'm staying over in West Bengal, and nothing, maybe a few Bangladeshi,
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
Some Burmese, some Chakma, these people or something, and that's a different thing. So I'm surprised to see that, first of all, and very happy to see it, how popular it is here. But then, then it becomes a surprise, because it feels strange. You have to understand me, I'm coming from outside, right? It feels, I don't want to say, not strange in a bad way, just strange meaning it's new, or I'm not used to it. Indian Buddhists. You understand?
Yes.
I mean, the propaganda, even, you know, people even in America, when people think Buddhist, people think Chinese people.
Yeah.
But at least I know beyond that, because I spend the time in Southeast
Agree.
Asia, Sri Lanka, and
Yes.
like this. But then now, even still, there's Indian Buddhists.
Ambedkarite Buddhism.
You understand? So then I'm sitting here saying, wow, I'm talking and I'm feeling strange. Wow, these Indian people are Buddhists. But then I feel strange at myself, like, wait, Indian people are supposed to be Buddhists. Buddhists are supposed to be Indian
Yes.
people.
Yes.
This is actually
Yes.
what it was in the big, you know, so it's
Baba Sahib, he himself
it's a
accepted it.
big mixture of things. This is the same thing that, you know, how can I say, you know, in America, you know, with us walking around, you know, we're walking around, black people in America, with European names, with white man names, speaking white man's language, believing in his God. You know, you come into a house full of black people, you look on the wall, it's a white Jesus. And this is so that if you see someone, they want to change their name back or something to something more African or something, then it's almost strange. But why should it be strange? This is exactly who this person is. So that's when I'm come to Nagpur. It's just, it's like I'm seeing, you know, seeing you becoming yourselves again, in a sense. And you know, as someone who's following Buddhism, it feels. I feel like I'm saying, oh, welcome. But then, wait, no, how can I welcome you? You must welcome me. You're Indian. Now, this is a very big mix of emotions when I see it. But I'm just happy to be here and happy to see it. And I want to learn something, because there are quite a few people in America, because of we black people, we've lost everything. Everything. I understand exactly what Baba Sahib is saying about certain atrocities and also the length of time. Yes, those atrocities, to that extent, your situation here is far worse than our situation in
Yes.
America. But you know your name,
Yes.
you speak your language. Now, thanks to Baba Sahib, you have your religion again. You eat your food.
Yes.
We don't eat our food. We don't speak our language. We don't know our names. Our thoughts, we think them in another man's language, in our enemy's language. When I say wonderful things to my wife and children, how much I love them, I have to use the enemy's language to express my feelings. I mean, this is why we're insane in America. So as we search for our identity, now, we cannot point to some particular location in Africa. So you have, because this history was not kept. So we search the world in that sense. We search the world in that sense because our feeling is that all peoples came from Africa, humanity in the beginning. We don't search Europe too much. We don't search Europe so much, but unity, because all of us have been colonized and imperialized by these same people. We've all been oppressed by these people. That's sort of our thinking and our feeling, at least among some of the community in America. Many of us are still, you know, we also 85% of us walking around blind, deaf, and dumb, and don't know what's going on. But so when I see you claiming the Buddhism, and I feel strong, and I feel I want to bring it back and see if it can do the same for our people there. We've gotten the Islam and some other religions people are reclaiming, and I want to add Buddhism to that. So
Better will be Ambedkar Buddhism.
That's the only one that
Yes.
can do it, because the other one
You will be very strange that I say my history.
Yes.
My forefather, they were very small. Field means this farmers.
Yes.
They were very small farmers.
Yes.
I had also worked with them outside also, and my capacity was not there to study even